He was just dragging us down.
Not the first time it's happened.
Well, we fire you a lot.
Yeah, spending all the money on big cigars.
The first time we tried to fire him over IM.
I need that for my cancer, boys.
So you can't fire people over IM. That's a very important thing.
I'd rather go already if you want to hook up the sound, the theme music, we're ready to go.
I'll be damned if you didn't run the music.
Daddy's home.
Welcome everybody in South Place. You're listening to Metropolis Live!
We want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We are. It's all the people that went to go.
Your only source of West Texas comics.
Thank you for coming.
In the entertainment world, I am the chief.
Don't forget the tip.
I'm Wombat.
I am the one true JP.
I am the crown jewel of KTXT, Lubbock's own mystery date, El Diablo Robotico.
Back from the dead! He's back from the dead! Oh, we thought we lost him, but continuity rebooted and we get him again.
I came out of retirement.
So
He got rebooted. He got rebooted.
Because you finally provided an audience that I felt I deserved. So we've been full of drunken women. But we all left, of course.
For people who are listening to this on the radio tomorrow on our
Poor
podcast
bastards.
at radiofreemetropolis.com, this is Wednesday, February 28th.
2007.
He's even louder and more obnoxious than before.
Check one, check two.
I didn't know you could get louder.
Anyway, we're here.
We're here at Jake's Sports Cafe doing our very first Metropolis live show where you actually get to look at us and realize that we have excellent faces for radio.
This is just a shame. I wish, listeners in Radioland, I wish you could see the audience we're facing right now.
Yeah.
Because it's like the comedy troupe that was here before us. Everybody filed out.
Everybody filed out.
And it's only our friends who take pity on us.
Well, that's okay.
There's people standing
I
up
assume
in the
that
back.
this is really all our listeners, I'm sure.
Yeah,
that's
I
true.
think that's true.
All 12 people and their friends that got dragged
Well,
out
I'm
tonight.
surprised because I'd always say like we'd always have like 2 listeners. I'm seeing I'm seeing like a 600% increase in my previous figure.
Tentacle porn girl, if you're out there, give us a shout out. You know, it's your chance to meet with the cast.
She doesn't come out of hiding. There's no hentai here.
Exactly.
No, what?
We have tentacles.
There's no fat anime
Never.
chicks that are having sex with
I can
people in fur
dream.
suits and tentacles.
What? We left Cthulhu at the gas station. There's no tentacles here.
There's no
Obviously.
tentacles.
Well,
Anyway,
so let's move on to news.
Yeah,
We have news.
Yeah,
This
we
is actually a
have
pretty big
news.
week for news. We've got a crap ton of it because this weekend was New York Comic Con, where comics best and brightest, except for us, come out and peddle their wares and announce new things. So let's just get that going, shall
We're
we?
moving on to 2 cons.
Observe, we have video.
look at that.
We finally bridged the
Yeah, I'm impressed.
this radio show into a visual format.
That's right.
So all those times that we talk about, like, look at what's going on panel 3.
Now you can see
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And we're using this opportunity to bring you a lot of boob shots. There'll be a lot of that tonight. It's going to be an ongoing theme.
Brought to you by anybody tonight?
We are brought to you
Yeah.
by Starbucks and Comics.
Starbucks and comics.
The very Starbucks and Comics.
The
Really?
one and
Starbucks and
only.
So everything that you hear us talk about can be available at Starbucks and Comics.
Tomorrow morning at the crack of about 10 or 11 or so.
Yeah, you guys are
you
gonna
can
get the
drive
crack
yourself
of
out to
noon.
Starbucks and Comics and buy yourself some fine comic wares.
You lucky bastards.
Located over on 34th Street and Avenue U.
Please also keep in mind that anything that you hear about today, if it's not available at Star, or perchance you can't get it at Star because your Brizity is oak, you can go to the Lubbock City County Libraries at Mahon or Go-To-Key, where they have a fine selection of graphic novels.
They
One of the
really-
best in the nation.
It's a pretty good way to kill an afternoon.
And a fine selection of hobos, urine stains.
Hobos.
The smell-
Reading comics with hobos is giving back to the community.
That's right. The Mahon Library is designated 2 places where the Metropolis scent can be found.
Yeah.
It's not a good
It's
thing.
actually quite a
Why?
hassle because we have to go to these places and rub up against them for like an hour.
you mind.
to sit there. It's really quite the hassle.
And you wonder why nobody reads comics.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody's seen you do that, don't go buy that book. It turns out this guy rubbed his ass against it for like 15 minutes.
I see your eyes are tearing up. You're tearing up, and are you
Eyes are
overwhelmed?
tearing up?
Yeah, you're going.
It's smoky in here.
Smoke.
Yeah.
It's that noxious ass thing that you're smoking.
Yeah.
What? Oh no, it's not after the show yet.
All right, so
All right, but back to news. Joss Whedon formally announced his Buffy Season 8 comic book series. I'm actually pretty psyched about that. I think it'll be fun.
Buffy season 8.
So he's doing a whole season run that'll pick up where Buffy Season 7 and the entire series, in fact, left off. And he's going to have a bunch of different writers write different arcs. Writers include everybody's favorite, Brian K. Vaughan, who's also writing for Lost now.
can't he do?
Jeff Loeb, who will continue to not pull the awesome wagon, even on Buffy.
it's also running for Heroes now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Boo Heroes.
And Brad Metzler of Identity Crisis and weird crime novel fame. So that'll be exciting.
Your facts are just as specific as hell.
Yeah, aren't they though?
The research here is
DC gave a little bit more information on the teaser image you heard us talk about on the radio, and now can actually see.
I don't know if you guys can see, that's a bat pirate up there.
Yeah, the Batman's got a little bit of the Captain in him.
Yeah. Superman's doing that thing where he cries into random people's boobs.
He's this close to giving her a motorboat. That's how Superman rolls. He's like, oh, I'm so sad about the DC universe.
When's that video going to give us that?
The only woman that could stand a super motorboat is Wonder
If you guys
Woman.
pay close attention, if you look close, you can see some flash tank in the corner right there.
You know, I appreciate
that is Flash Tank.
I appreciate the service that the Metropolis Paint Watch has offered to people, but I think you're looking too hard, man.
Yeah, the taint mark.
That is taint.
This is not a witch
But
hunt.
it's Marvel taint.
It is
focused on Marvel.
Have you
taint.
now ever been a member of the Taint Watch?
You dilute the meaning of the Taint Watch by trying to call taint everywhere. After a while,
Yeah,
it's like,
sir.
it's the boy who cried taint.
Yeah,
It really
the boy
is.
who cried taint.
There's no boy that cries.
You're the Homeland Security of Taint Watch.
Yeah. Taint is now at an amber level.
You're doing a heck of a job, Rhodey.
What can I say?
All right, so DC leaked a couple little details about the DC teaser image. The first one is that Flash is actually Barry Allen Flash
Dun, dun,
from
dun.
Silver Age fame, who's supposed to be dead but has about the same death track record as Jean Grey. And that person up there in the smart red tunic and the cape is actually Jason Todd, the Robin that Joker blew to smithereens and recently came back during Infinite Crisis.
Somebody just retconned my
Beat him
microphone.
with a crowbar.
Yeah. That's right, beat him to death with a crowbar and then blowed him up good. I know! Maybe it'll happen again. We can still hope. There's more DC teaser images. DC has formally announced their series Countdown, which is yet another weekly series to start up after 52. After the 52nd issue of 52, Countdown will start at issue 51 and count down to 0. And
It'll
DC
count down to the next
weekly series.
thing.
365 with Frank Miller and Jim Lee, where they produce one comic book in 365 days. So let's go on to the new teaser images, shall we? The search for Ray Palmer. The Atom's been missing.
so small.
He's so tiny.
That's the worst search ever.
What are you talking
It takes you a year to search like a
You
thumbnail.
know where he is?
Come on.
He's in the last place to look for it.
He's always is.
Yeah.
He's in the fridge, isn't he?
Smart ass.
He's in the fridge?
That's what's been eating my bacon.
It's right. I know where those tiny little bites in your bacon are.
Yeah.
I just thought you had Gentile mice.
Nobody's been making your button.
What?
Nobody's been eating your bacon.
We can do this all
All
day.
right, so the Atom's been missing since the end of Identity Crisis, and now in the DC universe, everybody wonders where the hell he is.
Hey, can we get some
And
bed
somebody
music?
created
over
the
here?
most powerful magnifying
I like
glass.
some bed music. Some very low bed music. Very low.
Unto man shall come a great disaster.
We're
No,
just-
not Nick Rowe, the bad star. It's probably Darkseid.
Wait, so who made these posters? This looks like a child's like 5th grade
I
project.
think they're kind of hip.
Yeah. You do put Darkseid's head on a piece of orange construction paper? I'm not impressed.
It's
at all.
genius.
Yeah.
If you were in 3rd grade and you put Darkseid's head on a piece of orange construction paper, I would give you a gold star, sir.
You'd be trained by
Or that
Dynamite.
sticker that says
Not even
great
all of
job and
Darkseid's head.
smells
You don't
like
know what
great.
Darkseid's doing underneath there.
Yeah.
It kinda looks
I think we all know
like
what's going
Darkseid's
underneath
been
there.
hiding under your desk, maybe.
No, we
Or
all know
under
what he's
your
doing.
car.
He's spanking it.
Yourself, man.
The spank of apocalypse.
Jimmy Olsen must die.
I agree with the premise. I agree with the premise. I can't deny that.
The
Oh,
audience
that's
kind
not
of
fair.
agrees with
Yeah,
that.
wow. I don't know any details about this storyline, but so there you go.
If the
He
poster
just
says
must
it,
die, apparently.
The seduction of the innocent. Wherein
combat story.
Wherein so many fan fiction dreams finally come true, where it appears that Mary Marvel will get to make out with the new Eclipso,
I
Jean
really
Loring.
hope so.
Villains defiant. Wherein two arms are chained together.
It's just two arms.
Wasn't this an Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, I
It
think
might
so.
have been. I'm pretty sure the first half of
Family
Oh Brother Where
Values.
Art Thou also
It's that
was a
one
lot
where
like
he was
this.
chained to Damon Wayans.
No, this reminds me of the.
That's right, I forgot.
Reminds me of that Looney Tunes thing where I think it's
Bulletproof.
Doug.
or something like that. That's what it was
I
called.
remember that.
Is it
That was
Daffy?
crazy.
Is it Daffy and the? Who is it?
You probably can't see on the projector, but the blue glove says "Yo" all over it, which leads me to believe that it's the Yo-Yo's that it's the Flash's Yo-Yo themed villain. And then just before the show, we
I actually
speculated
think
that
it's
the
a
big
member
gray
of
arm.
Right Said Fred.
What's that?
I think it's a member of Right Said Fred.
Well, it's about time they got some more.
They're too sexy for that shame, my friend.
They're too sexy for this slide.
Omega
Flight.
No, I don't even want to talk about it. Can we pass on this?
No.
It's got Beta Ray Bill on it.
Look at Beta Ray Bill,
He's a
though.
space horse, for Christ's
He
sake.
is preparing to
Beta Ray Bill is awesome.
He
He's
is
a space horse.
Yeah.
He is preparing
Gotta
to
stop
beat
doing
the Major League Baseball home run record.
Yeah.
Can't you tell? Look how beefed up he is.
You know, the only thing that's being beaten there is Spider-Woman's projecting boobs. That's all I really see.
This is Omega Flight, Marvel's new Canadian superhero team that is formed after the fallout of the Civil
So
War.
Alpha Flight was too excellent for them. They went all the way down to Omega. Is that
And
it?
the less said, the better.
What's
Maybe
the
this will
bottom of
maybe the Omega thing. It'll finally be the end of Alpha Flight
What's-
series because Alpha Flight's always like 6 issues in, and everybody's like, cancel.
What's the bottom of the like? Is this the
Zeta
actual
Flight.
bottom of the
Zeta Flight. Take Flight.
It'd be no, maybe it's Ultron.
That's what Ray Palmer is.
No.
Yeah, he's in the Flash tank. We found him.
This is as low it goes.
That's a load off my
The Albanian Alpha Flight. Jesus.
Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev, for some ungodly reason, are writing a Halo ongoing series for Marvel.
God has nothing to do with it, my friend.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
God has nothing to do with that. It'll probably be kind of hip. I like Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev, but it's freaking
Funny
Halo,
story.
man.
We have an army soldier, your ex-army
Next.
soldier, and he will tell you that it is hard to shoot and fly backwards at the same time. That's right, isn't it, CJ?
In better Brian Michael Bendis, Alex Maleev news, they have announced their Daredevil The End series.
One of the problems with living in the city is that daredevils are always wasting all over your statues. You have to watch out for them.
Yeah.
Put a spike on top of your
Yeah.
angels. So,
I try to wash my statues in my car, and then a Daredevil just comes and just all over.
well,
it.
he has that blue cloud protecting him at all times.
And it eats away the paint too. It's really bad. I don't know what that guy eats, but it's something else.
Whatever blind
There's
people
also
eat.
a bunch of other artists signed up for this series, including Bill Sienkiewicz and Klaus Janson.
Sienkiewicz.
It's going to be a lot like that last Brian Michael Bendis issue of Daredevil, where it'll be one final battle. to
The
rule them
owl,
all,
yeah.
And they'll do a bunch of different jump cuts for different artist styles that have worked on the show or on the series. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Grendel. There's a new Grendel miniseries coming out. Grendel's
You love your Grendel.
and
Loving the
I did this especially for you. I hope you
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Behind
It's actually Grendel's
talk more,
25th
you know.
or 30th anniversary.
That's right. And part of the celebration of that is a new 8-issue miniseries called Behind the Rose. It's a story of...
It's a VH1 special. Hunter was just going crazy, man.
But it
Killing
wasn't
every
all
night.
roses and pitchforks for Grendel.
Or
When
skull.
he returned to
Grendel
Behind
hit
the Rose,
rock
you'll
bottom.
see how he brought his skull web art style career come crashing down.
He was losing control. And this time, the one that paid for the ride wouldn't be the bus fare.
He was thinking about turning into a good guy.
This miniseries will be the story of Hunter Rose's history being discovered by subsequent Grendel, Christine Spar, going through his novels and diaries and live journal, I guess. And
Grendel blogs.
discovering his story because he died. He was in like one story,
Yeah.
he died, but he's everybody's favorite Grendel, so they keep having to figure out ways to shoot
Everybody's
more
favorite
stories.
Grendel was the name of the sitcom. He was gonna be everybody loves Grendel. Grendel, you killed again.
Grendel, we have to buy a new couch, and he stabbed our neighbors.
I'm an immortal killer. We all feel.
A very special Grendel.
Isn't it always?
My favorite book, Manhunter from
Your
DC
favorite
Comics,
book that nobody
Speaking of
reads?
man-
has been saved from cancellation, Spider-Girl style.
More like Boy
Issue
Hunter.
30 will no longer be the last issue of this series. They're going to let it live on for a little bit longer.
If you had a glamour shot in the 80s, that was all around.
Yeah.
Is that really your favorite book?
I believe the children are
Imagine chasing a fish around.
Watch them grow and let them
I think that's enough of that.
All right,
Enough for all
but
I think this is a fun book. I think people should pick it up.
I think you're right.
Marvel has announced a new miniseries of one-shots called Mystic Arcana. A series of 4 one-shots detailing magic characters in the Marvel Universe as they relate to the major arcana of the tarot deck.
I already have all the magic I need. A green deck and a black deck by far enough, my friend.
Are these going to be available in booster packs? Will there be a special Chromium edition for these?
Well, actually, I heard they were going to be released in super booster packs this time.
You're thinking of
with
Ice
more
Fire,
cards.
man.
More
I need
cards.
to get all
More
these.
cards for your money, man.
You need to get all these because the dual. Okay, we're done with that.
Yeah.
You were
can't
done
say
with that
that.
before you even started.
Yeah, we're aware.
The series will have 4 separate stories about magic characters in the Marvel Universe who we see here. Magic, Ilyana Rasputin, Colossus's dead sister. Sister Grimm, Nico from the hit favorite comic book series Runaway.
Drawn by somebody
Everybody's
who was
favorite
on
crazy
drugs.
bitch, Scarlet Witch. And not shown, the Black Knight, the Avenger that nobody
Wait,
remembers.
crazy bitch Scarlet Witch, is she drawn by Brian Hitch?
Oh,
Either that or Stuart Eminem, I can't remember which.
Rhyming is fun.
It might be a switch.
Did none of you think to bring a symbol so we can do the rim shots?
Yeah, that's for next. This is a dry run.
Oh,
We're
okay.
practicing.
Can we get the more bed music again?
But I'm all
That was pretty
I'm
cool.
signing up for Crazy Bitch.
Some of these will be
Scarlet
pretty
Witch.
good.
But
You know, I hate that movie Hitch.
Oh, God.
There's no words.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it speaks for
Why?
itself.
I think my heart just exploded, guys. I think I need to go to the hospital now.
Published in tandem by Marvel and IDW, written by Stuart Moore and drawn by Tyler Kirkham, who managed to royally screw up Phoenix War Song, is New Avengers Transformers.
I think it's killing me.
starts
Get off the projector.
It's set before Civil War
Transformers.
and some 2 random storylines to Transformers, and I can't believe they're even doing it.
Hey,
next.
let El Diablo do the song.
do you want me to do the song?
Do the song.
Yeah,
Transformers. We're loved by day,
the
but
skies.
Really, the thing about this is this is the next iteration of the Amalgaverse. Remember when the Marvel released the toy line of transforming Marvel figures?
Yes, I do.
Wolverine turns into a jet for no reason.
That was blasphemy, sir. That was
Not
even the Gospel of Thomas.
That was
is more
the Marvel
contentious than that.
Megabots.
This is really just a short step away from Daredevil Halo or X-Men Wheel of Time. It'll have Punisher, the Dark Tower. I can see that happening too.
What happens when like say
happens
the
when Spider-Man
Constructicons
ends
or
up on the-
Devastator and Giant Man go drinking? Nobody understands Devastator.
The
He's
Wasp.
too big.
I'll tell you what happened. The Wasp doesn't stand a chance.
Probably not. What about Grimlock and the Hulk? They're about the same functioning mental level.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can get along like
Grimlock and
gangbusters.
Devil Dinosaur.
I think so.
That would, especially after next wave.
Grimlock,
What if
understand,
you
man.
combine that with the 90s breakdancing Justice League member with Soundwave?
Oh my god.
There was a breakdance.
All right, next. All right, New Champions is a book to spin out of Civil War, written by Matt Fraction and drawn by Barry Kitson, who drew the miniseries Empire and is currently doing Legion of Superheroes and Supergirl. It's Tony Stark still being a dick with a bunch of random superheroes. But I bet it'll
Really
be good.
sharp suit.
Yeah, in a really sharp suit.
His team of silhouettes to the rescue.
His team of freedom hating. I'm surprised they're not all listening to iPods.
Yeah. What is that? Is that supposed to be a hammer? Whoever that's.
Yeah, but it's not Mjolnir, it's
looks
some
like a
other
boot
hammer.
shovel or
It
something.
might be a robot head.
It's the snow shoveler. He's part of the Wisconsin superhero team.
yeah.
You want your draft team?
I'm just not sure about Iron Man doing his best Freddie Prinze Jr. impression over there.
Give me the Black Power slip in the corner if you can see.
I bet that suit's a bitch to keep clean, isn't it? These are just some new pictures of the new Thor book by Michael Avon Emming and Oliver Coipio.
It better be the clone Thor with his
No,
own ongoing
It's
series.
probably real Thor, but we still haven't figured out how we got to this
What
yet.
the hell is he wearing?
Chainmail.
What's that?
It's-
What the hell is he wearing?
Don't you belong to a guild? It blocks arrows.
Hey, I'll have you know, those are plus 75 chainmail pants to hammer striking.
With a dragon shot, it goes up 50.
Dungeons forever.
You had to grind woodchucks for like 6 hours to get those.
I'm actually a big fan of his Rob Liefeld style continuity change. Like he's got sleeves in the cover, but no sleeves in the book.
Wait, we're still wearing,
Bigger and gayer than
still wearing the
ever.
same outfit in the inside pages. Maybe it's a flashback. We'll see how it levels out. World War Hulk. Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
This is Marvel's big new event for the summer.
They
It's
dropped
going
the ball on
to
Civil
going to
War.
sprawl all over the Marvel universe, a lot like Civil War. They say that it'll encompass 35 books, and it's Hulk coming back from his exile in space, pissed, crazy pissed about what happened.
Here,
I
I
love
love
Hulk hitting things.
Hulk
They
looks
have-
like he's standing
They
on
have the
an
Hulk
ass.
wearing
Not
one of
just
those
hitting
one-arm
things.
deals.
Choking Professor Xavier. I could stare at that all day, man. It's so
Okay,
great.
go back wheelchair.
Hey,
Squeeze
he can-
one out,
Now,
Hulk.
he can walk now, so it's fair.
Go back. Okay, why when they outfit these guys, why do they always have one arm guarded? Why not both? You think if you're going to get one gauntlet, you can get two.
Because that's your
Because the Hulk
that's
doesn't
your
have a lot of
kitchen
money.
shoulder.
The Hulk's the emperor of the entire world. Of course he has money.
That's Jason, that's his porn arm. You don't want to
Yeah.
throw that out.
Yeah,
I think we all use a porn arm in day-to-day events.
that's his
so
mouse
go back to the
thing.
squeezing picture.
Hulk like girl on girl.
Go back to the choking.
Oh, look at that. He's like he's taking a monster dump there.
I know.
Maybe they're doing it together. Hulk, show you how it's done.
Isn't that how Michael Hutchinson's died? I know they covered it up after the fact, but I really think that's what happened.
If only he was a drifter.
Northlanders is a new book coming out by Brian Wood.
Spin the Return.
It's Mikens doing
Spin.
Miken stuff.
Really, we spin the Return.
Yeah. Sven, and also I think the Swedish Chef will play a part in this book.
He's
a
we
lot.
have your woman, Outlander.
He's a lot darker now.
Yeah.
Is that the last news slide I have?
Brian.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
last news slide we
So
have.
today's theme we decided on. If I may jump to this, boys.
Yeah.
Members,
I
you
guess
guys
you have no choice.
You didn't bring an issue of study breaks?
I didn't bring it to study. So anyway, we decided that we had a live show. What was the best thing to do with all this live space we had? We thought about Chippendales got busted, so our strip show idea went out the window. So we decided we're going to show you
And
guys.
thank Christ for that.
Well, some people don't have the goods, and some people do. But what I was going to say is that we always talk about these artists we love so much on the show. We decided it was time to show you guys, our low listener base, what we were talking about this entire time. So we each have two favorite artists
Pictures.
that we brought up, except for El Diablo. He doesn't have any artists involved.
Imagine that. A visual medium
I suggested
represented
two
visually.
What?
Will wonders never
We're not
cease?
doing a retrospective on
Well,
Rob Liefeld.
guys, this is an important setup for World War El Diablo, which will be coming in the
He
summer.
comes back. He comes back, and he's pissed.
The follow-up to the Metropolis.
Yeah.
We shut him off in a cannon.
So I guess we'll get to it.
If you want to stand up and do the presentation, I have another smooth little remote you can use.
But I won't be around the mic.
Well, all right then, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Logistics problem.
You can take it with you. This isn't
can't
like
take it
Bunny
with
or Poontang. You can, in fact, take it with you.
We're gonna edit that out. I hope you do.
You have a potty mouth, my friend.
No, I'm good. Because we have a little video here, so I can actually see what's going on. It works. I thought I'd talk about Jack King Kirby. Yeah!
Thank you, nerd.
Pretty much everything the majority of people know about comics kind of comes from Jack Kirby. Especially all you Marvel fans out there who like X-Men movies, Fantastic Four, everything.
Everything good in life comes from Jack Kirby. All honey
that's
and
pretty much
lemon.
how it is. So let's start this off with the quintessential image, shall we?
Oh,
There it
is. Captain America, back when you were cool.
This is Captain America hitting Hitler.
Back when
Just punching Hitler.
Close out to Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Captain America cried and
This
gave
is
up.
Cap I remember.
That's right.
This is what we love, Captain America.
You dressed as Cap for Halloween. I take it you're prouder of this Cap
It's-
than the
it's
Cap you
one of my
saw
most
on Civil War
favorite
7.
So
What?
I take it you're prouder
Remember
of this
you were
Cap.
stumbling around going, this age does not stand for France, and then you
I was
punched
Ultimate
me.
Cap.
Because you love Cap, but you must have hated him in Civil War 7. So I thought this must be a joy for you to see
It is a joy.
everyone hated Civil War 7. Don't worry. Jack Kirby, Jack Herschel, as he was before he changed his name,
Good book.
but pretty much started off with when it was still timely, and kind of created the era of superheroes that we kind of have now. You know, where we had Captain America. We can go into the Fantastic Four, which is a really amazing book if you actually read some of these early stuffs, because it's so weird and so interesting, and Stan Lee stuff is just crazy.
Yeah, he must have been doing some psychotropic drugs or something.
There's a
He
living
was doing Stan Lee's
planet.
wife, and that's a psychotropic drug enough, I think.
That's right, Triple E.
I was nose deep down in Stan Lee's wife, and that's when I realized the Mole Man.
That's where Galactus came from.
It's a true story.
So much cough syrup.
Sorry.
You should have seen what we did with Kirby's cigars.
Oh man, that's that's terrible.
Hey, it's Dr. Doom.
So we got to people like I don't know. I just love to look at Kirby's artwork. It's so strange and blocky and geometric. Silver Surfer comes along with Galactus, and what is Galactus doing back there? We don't know what that is.
Ash is born. Oh, yeah. Surfer. Good, my herald. You'll find me up to that end.
We got this.
Galactus hungers for girl and girl.
Action. He's frozen the Fantastic Four. He's got people riding meteorites. I like that orange guy right there.
What
is that?
That's a Mongoloid for all seasons.
He was in some book a while back. I can't remember. Goom! Isn't he Goom?
That's
Goom?
Yeah, he showed up in Next Wave.
That's a self-portrait, actually, of Jack Kirby. He was 8 feet tall.
Now he's young Jack.
This is during his blue
That's
period.
just everything weird in comics is that guy. He doesn't really have armpits, giant mouth.
And he still wears pants.
Jack Kirby's also really well known for dynamic action. You know, he kind of defined a lot of the action elements of comics with Ben Grimm here, the Thing fighting Black Bolt, which, you know, Inhumans is really a favorite of mine. Moving on. X-Men, you've all seen this cover, haven't you?
What? They changed things. No, Grant Morrison is responsible for this.
Yeah. So, this is...
The Angel would be a lot more effective if you carry a bazooka around every day.
It's like the Beast always has a track.
Yeah, I was about to say that too.
Where is that from?
Thank God Jean Grey's doing the Watusi back there.
My mod dancing skills are just what we need to defeat the Master of Magnetism.
Is that a bazooka he has? The Angel? That's not a mutant power. Where'd you go, Professor Rex?
Never been sure what that was.
What the hell is that? I don't know.
Stand back, Magneto's messed up a bunch of pipes. I'll repair them.
You need about a size 8, you say?
The Hulk's another big one with big gray people who attack small white people. Your favorite.
This was the
That's what comics are about.
and civil rights.
Big gray versus small white. Yep, we're all for it.
Fantasy is unlike it.
Actually, a funny thing on civil rights is back in the 70s when they started to interview college students about their opinions on national figures of like civil rights movements and stuff like that. Spider-Man and the Hulk were actually top-rated things of literature that is really encouraging of the civil rights movement.
Hulk did go to jail for his beliefs.
That's crazy, because
Hulk-
X-Men is straight up the civil rights movement.
No, but Hulk fought the government, and the government keeps a lot of us down.
That's
so,
true.
The Hulk sticks it to the man.
A lot of people argue that the 60s ended when Spider-Man was shot. And
I thought I'd put up some black and white imagery too, just so that you could see without the color as to how kind of blocky and how interesting and how these weird angles kind of make these storylines work. And then I thought Superman's pal, the new Jimmy Olsen, was a really...
Back when Marvel printed this, new Amazing Spectacular Jimmy Olsen.
You know, Jimmy Olsen was just that guy like, hey, Superman, what can I do? But now we finally get an image of Jimmy Olsen trying to hit Superman with a car.
this is the image Jimmy Olsen.
You'll notice it says homo disastrous up there.
What are you trying to say?
What? Kirby was trying to say it, dude, not us.
And here's one of my favorites. Mr. Miracle is a escape artist who's actually inspired by Jim Steranko, a fellow comics artist. And if you have Jim Steranko as a guest, you actually credit him with the first graphic novel. Most people always credit Eisner, but if you want Jim Steranko to actually appear at your convention, you credit him with the first.
Now, is that true, or does he just demand
Yeah.
that? Does
He
he just get off
has
of that, or
the
is it
largest
fact?
ego.
If no trap can hold him, what about the trap of cancellation?
You must also claim that I brought sexy back. I put the ram in the ram ding dong.
The bomb, the lump, she bumped off.
I think we gotta go back to Homo Disastrous.
I'll live up to it. I'll own that.
Homo deserts.
I am why we can't have nice things.
And I want to go to are because of you.
Well, it's a dual-edged sword.
I want to go to this panel to just show how. This is when he got to DC, did New Gods and all sorts of stuff. All right, so he's the world's greatest escape artist. And if you look at the panel here, what do we have? He's going to go into a little outhouse, and a midget is going to shoot it with a flamethrower. That is seriously what's occurring here.
This was the 60s.
It is.
You had to teach the kids to fear midgets with a passion.
Back then, they could have been red spies.
Yeah. This is everything about comics that we grew up loving. Midgets, flamethrowers. How can you escape from that? Only one man can escape.
Midgets have spent the last 30 years trying to live down that stereotype, too.
Yeah.
You would go talk to a midget, and if you're like, hey, man, you got a light? You're like, hey, what are you trying to imply? You think I have a flamethrower?
Did we all know each other?
No, man, no. I just wondered if you had a light. Do you have a flamethrower?
I could maybe.
Where are you hiding it?
We got some more black and white tomorrow people, and some Doomsday and Orion and the new guy.
What kind of pants do you sport down there in the lower right hand?
See, that might be a
Fancy
tank
pants.
watch.
Yeah.
Those are fancy pants. That's what he's wearing.
Jeez, Dark Side.
Hey, Dark Side.
Maybe got
Let's
back.
go all the way up.
And that's a guy reaching for something.
Kirby does a lot of that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's sort of a weird theme of reaching.
Yeah.
Grab it, squeeze
Trying
it.
to grasp the reader and pull it into the comic book.
Yeah.
All right, the chief is now going to show you Jack Cole, Heroes of Millions sent to me. Jack Cole was the guy who created Plastic Man for Police Comics. How do I move this along?
Press the big button that says
The
OK.
big OK button? Okay.
Yeah.
So here you can see he was featured in Police Comics 4, I think, and then shortly afterwards he became the main feature of it. Plastic Man, he wasn't the first, man who could reshape himself. That was Flexo about a year before, I think, for some other comic company. But he was the one that pretty much became dominant. So you see, Jack Cole later found work as a cartoonist for Playboy. He pointed here. Oh, he pointed there. And that's pretty much what you see here. This is Jack Cole. Jack Cole's art, the stuff I'm going to show you later of John Cassaday is mostly one-panel stuff. But Cassaday is one of these guys that pretty much can't be understood unless you see an entire page of his stuff. He's the rare combination of cartoon art and comics action art. People like Reed Crandall were working at the same time as him. Kind of more of like a Prince Valiant sort of thing. But they didn't have sort of the anarchic, energetic style that Cole had. Here we see Plastic Man's origin. Is it loading up or not?
You'll also notice that Woozy Winks,
Woozy Winks, yeah.
his buddy's face looks like a sack.
You see Woozy Winks in the
Package.
But he's
JP's going to play a trick on him.
we should play a trick on him. Yeah, we can see each of these small panels here. He didn't work in big panels. Today, the norm is big panels, maybe 4 or 3. But Cole was able to fit so much in each little panel. You can see he just has this love of movement here. And the
Who doesn't wake up and stretch their face like that?
yeah, that's what I do. You have a lot of these weird things that Cole puts in, like Plastic Man's head in a circle there. It used to be the norm on comics, but he could draw pretty much anything. And again, with Plastic Man, Cole got the opportunity to do pretty much any kind of movement he wanted to do. He's got this guy, Plastic Man, is over there with the sort of the top row. He's kind of flipping over the bad guys. Just you don't see this anywhere else. Yeah. So anyway, here's Eel talking to himself again. Yeah, it's great to be Plastic Man. Look at the kids on top here. Again, cartooniness and
Stop,
yeah.
look, and read.
Like what kind of stuff you see in Craig Magazine or Mad, you pretty much have onto you here too. Just going through, you can see the kind of stuff Plastic Man does. Again, this is all tightly compressed, but he manages to create a sense of motion in each single panel. I love this guy here in the blue, about the middle row column here. He's got one arm up like this. That's the kind of stuff you don't see. Comics become so ritualistically realistic, at least mainstream comics have. Superhero comics, you just can't see that kind of action. Well, look at Eel up here in the top right corner. He's kind of jumping over his car. Again, the same kind of level of movement that you don't have. And as you said, he does look like a sack. Woozy Winks looks very sack-like. And you can see here he is. The way he runs, who does that? Weird. He's got a panther here. The thing, Plastic Man gave Cole a lot of chances to do crazy stuff with his characters that he couldn't get away with Superman or Batman. Just going through here.
Because neither Superman nor Batman are made of plastic.
Well, yeah, they could have been. And here he is being hit by a tree, and falling down to the earth, and punching a guy in the face. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. You can see this is an issue where Plastic Man is sick in the hospital. So even in this one issue, you can see the sort of the unusual situations that he puts Plastic Woozy Winks in. There's the guys over here looking at the jewels, movement. He actually puts himself in this comic. There's a character here. You can see it's Jack Cole. Jack Cole's version of himself that he's traveling with. And
Does Jack Cole draw himself like a package?
apparently so. Unusual package, I'll say.
Package jokes.
Aging Dr. Freud.
So you see, like again, this is pretty de rigueur for a comic. The weird flower trying to eat Woozy Winks there, and again, this is the kind of stuff that you see in the left page with a building reaching form, and then he has this weird mic talking guy. And the lower, that's a figure throughout the entire story. I don't know what it's doing there. It's pretty weird. I think there's Jack Cole down in the corner, lower right corner, saying "Cash," looking exactly like my brother does. And Woozy Winks again, looking like bare testicles. So
we never get to any of Jack Cole's like Playboy.
no, he shot himself.
Yes, he did. He did. He shot himself, and he sent 2 suicide notes. One to his wife, and one to Hugh Hefner.
Yeah,
And neither of those people have ever spoken up and actually said why he did it. But he did do a lot of Playboy pinup stuff. It's really good.
Maybe it was cash.
Yeah, or lack thereof.
So he's outside of comics, he's really one of the highly influential cartoonists.
He was probably trying to get together a threesome, and the letter just says, "Screw you both." Later, bang.
But okay, so I thought I'd talk also about Mike Allred, who is
Pretty.
yes.
And Mormon.
Also, there's a great story about Mike Allred being mystified by the fact that that Robert Rodriguez had his phone number, and like how that's when he felt he made it as an artist.
Robert Rodriguez calls
But let's start with this image, shall we?
Mute Street Beatniks rule!
laser time.
I'm gonna hit this guy with a trombone.
I love Mike Allred.
Jazz is dangerous.
Yes, it's the same thing with Jack Kirby. It's these great angles. It's this really kinetic artwork, and at the same time, it's something just so far out you've never seen it before. There's a guy with a lightning bolt on his chest fighting zombies or mutants.
Fighting zombies. Lightning bolts played on the stage.
That's true.
They could the music after I said that.
You know, so I'm starting with some of his early work, like he was really starting to be superheroish, but developing this kind of mod style. It's very cartoonist. It's very still really hip and pretty current even to this day. Moving over to Madman Comics, which has gone through multiple publishers, is now off Dark Horse and will be published by Image Comics pretty soon.
Image has taken up everything. It's sort of like the Fox News of the comic world.
No more indies.
Well, it's still indie. They just offer you a really good publishing deal.
Yeah, they just publish it, distribute it. Here's back to Jack Kirby as a Mike Allred inked over Jack Kirby pencils they would use. It's kind of a big way that he got started. To more Jack Kirby-esque with the atomics and which is really a far out comic. I think anybody who kind of digs oddity and Dolly-esque and rock music is really in for a treat with something like Atomics or Red Rocket 7, which is the history of rock and roll told by Mike Allred.
Please tell me you have that image of the Red Rocket 7 cover.
I don't have that.
Ouch.
I couldn't find the Red Rocket 7.
Do you have any pictures from his horrible movie, Astro-esque?
I don't want to talk about Astro-esque. Let's get about
Do that!
so
To the PowerPoint!
when he did the Red Rocket 7, it came out with the gear and Astro-esque, which is
It's a low-budget movie that he made with a Russian film projector thing that he bought at a garage sale.
and it also had the side movie.
And literally, when people get shot, you can see like a paintbrush on the side of the screen, flicks of paint at somebody. And then they just react where the paint hits them. It's horrible.
Did a few issues in Sandman. He was coming up around that same era. There's Superman.
Bizarro. Me have no friends. Me am so happy. Me could slit my wrist and listen to Fall Out Boy. Be so happy.
Does it mean you couldn't slit your wrist and you won't listen to Fall Out Boy?
Me and not understand the question.
So you do understand my question.
This is
No.
actually from Bizarro
No.
Comics, which is a really cool compilation of indie comics. More Superman and Madman. Hullabaloo.
Connect.
Oh, and here's one of my
Oh, good, you
favorites.
found the
Therein lies
unadulterated
a
one.
tale.
This is the Ecstatics, which is kind of like celebrity superheroes.
Mutants.
Yeah,
They're
mutants.
mutants and trenching the X-Force.
Yeah, it's part of X-Men that spun off into its own book that has nothing to do with X-Men, really. And they brought Princess... They were originally planning to bring Princess Diana back to life. She comes back in the X-Men universe,
Realizes she's a mutant.
joins the Ecstatics, goes on a big adventure, but Marvel canned that idea.
I can't see why.
So, but they did the whole story. They just
Yeah.
they changed all the art to make her like a dark with darker long hair, and they removed all the overt references to being Princess Diana. They called her like Princess Henrietta. I think she was a pop star.
And instead of being Prince Charles, it's Chinch Charles.
Yeah, it was a lot like that.
Yeah.
I think she was a hermaphrodite with a Prince
And her
Charles.
children, Winry and Hilliam.
Oh, very clever, very clever.
They kind of just took the bite out of the book, but you could still get the original artwork that they had teasers of Princess Diana fighting crime. It's very
The story itself is really good. What you do is when you read that story, you still just imagine that it's Princess Diana doing all these things. And all of a sudden, you understand why paparazzi were following her around all the time. I'd follow her around all the time, too, if she was an ass-kicking back from the dead new princess thing.
No kidding.
And this is just an awesome drawing.
Ruby Benson.
Props to you, sir, for making this the background for a MySpace, because I love it. It makes me so pretty.
That's my favorite Michael.
Radio
Allred.
Yeah,
Plays
yeah.
Mice, Metropolis.
This is actually another image that DC would not let Michael Allred publish. They had it got changed to Wonder Girl when this issue actually got published because Batman dancing was just too much for DC to handle.
It confuses the kids. Well, if they couldn't handle Apollo and the Midnight or make it out, then yeah, they really do like to protect those characters, something fierce. Anything Batman does that's too gay, except for go on a year-long cruise with two handsome young men.
You know,
DC nixes.
he has X in every single pocket.
Glow sticks, water,
Yeah.
giant bat pants.
I don't miss my parents at all.
Batman, we put that light switch in the Batcave so you could turn the lights on and off.
Oh,
Not so you could throw a
awesome.
light switch raves.
This is everything that pop art was really wanting to do that Mike Allred actually stepped up to be able to have. And right now he's actually doing pencils, and his wife Laura is actually doing all the coloring that she always does for his career. Oh, the Spider-Man one.
Hey, it's Spider-Man.
This is a Spider-Man Ultimate Spider-Man 100 issue that he did.
That's the most awkward-looking Spider-Man I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like he got
That's
drunk
like
and
a-
spun it. It's like he got drunk and like lost his keys, and he gets home. He's like,
Stuck in his own web.
I hope
Yeah,
MJ gets home soon.
His body's
Oh
going through
dear God,
changes.
I hope nobody
His body's going through changes, and that's what we see here.
This is on his Fables run that he's doing right now.
I
He's
like
taking-
Wolverine there on the right. Oh, that's right.
He's taken over for Bill Willingham on Fables.
So that's the big bad wolf in Snow White. We're married now and had all these kids.
Yeah.
And a magic carpet. That is
And
their
they're going to see Father Christmas.
Yeah. No, I thought it was Father Wind.
No, it's the North,
Wind.
Mr. North, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you read the Christmas special, Father Christmas is an inherently different person from Mr. North.
Oh, okay.
We bow to your superior.
Well, we're gonna get to the last slide here, and I'm gonna give you some warnings.
Sex like Star Wars.
Mike Allred is a Mormon, and a big Mormon. He's a big fan of it.
Big Mormon fanboy.
So his attempt to give back to the Mormon community is to
Wash everybody's windows.
Wash everyone's cars, paint their houses.
he's adapting the Book of Mormon into a comic book called The Golden Plates.
That would be tough.
The first 4 issues have been collected in a little hardcover trade. I bought it. It's awesome.
Is it just like Battlestar Galactica?
It is in fact true that the Book of Mormon
It's actually
does
like-
remarkably well to comic books.
It's actually a lot like an Orson Scott Card novel.
Which one?
So,
All of them. There's one Orson Scott Card novel and like 19 covers.
Yeah,
But-
the more white people save the world.
Yeah.
That's everyone you say.
but there we go.
There's
There's a mic over Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike,
White Jesus, coming to America to teach the Indians about Jesus.
Yeah, so there we go.
Watch out for people of this color. They will not do good things to you.
That is not the light of God. That is an orbiting space laser prepared to nuke out your way of life and pave the way for us. Starbucks, Walmart, Barnes and Noble.
I'm thinking that we're gonna. You saw the Superman Madman crossover book, Madman Jesus crossover.
Oh,
I would buy that.
I would buy that too.
Fighting
I think we all
mutant beatniks. It'd be great. I'd read that in a heartbeat.
I don't remember who's next in the sentence.
Oh,
I have to tell us.
So the noob's turn to go. Make it good.
I love Roberto Ramos this much.
That's not enough.
Yes, my arms don't go that long.
He's got a pretty good wingspan. It's bigger than yours.
Yeah.
It is.
See, we'll compare. We'll do this after the show. Roberto Ramos noted recently doing this. How many issues was it?
6.
6-issue miniseries Revelations, which I picked up when I actually started getting into comics, which was last year. I am the noob here. I'm probably the most
still
noob
hasn't
person in
read
this
print
entire room, even. But I jumped on this. I really love just the cartoonish element of it. How everything seems so cartoony and it's fun, but it's incredibly serious as well. You can really show expressions well, as you can see from those top 2 panels.
This
I'm
is the
happy.
most cartoonish book about a papal cover-up
Yeah.
of murder.
I love it.
Ramos does cartoony and dark mixed together really well.
Yeah, which is what I like, because I like knowing I'm reading a comic book. It's all cartoony and crazy and fun. And then I really like how he does eyes in this book, like the girl's eyes. You can also see the expression change in those bottom 3 panels. Just like, I'm angry, I'm kind of angry, I'm sad now. Just that transition there. And I'm not pointing to the thing. Impulse.
Oh.
I love me some impulse.
Miss you, Impulse.
We always
Rock
do.
and Roll High School.
Rock and Roll High School.
How pertinent.
This another thing I like about this issue. What's it called? Sonic Youth.
That was germinated.
It's funny, see, because Impulse can break the sonic barrier, and he's really young.
He's a kid.
I
It's
got
brilliant.
it.
But I love me some Impulse. I also love how how he does the fight scene here. He keeps the cartoony element. I love how he punches that guy with the blonde beard so hard, part of his head comes out of the panel. Love that.
Nice note.
That's what I love. It's all crazy. Everyone. He still does, even though it's simple and cartoonish. The expressions just are brilliant. I just got punched in the face. I'm a little girl that's angry. I'm Impulse. I'm awesome. And then more Impulse.
girl is gonna eat
more
somebody's
Impulse
head.
being awesome. Prepare to have your head eaten by Humberto Ramos.
And
Real
Impulse, I have all his
character.
hair.
Yeah.
Through it.
And
The hair shield protects him.
Impulse getting apparently tasered by the Flash. That's always a
Talk
classic.
about prophecy.
And then I love this because it's Impulse getting stuck in a bucket of tar.
That's a barrel.
Getting barrel, bucket, same thing. You know what I'm talking about. And again, you can see the eyes, which I really like, the facial expressions, which I really like. More Impulse being awesome. Even more Impulse being awesome. You kind of have the chaotic background, and he still represents Bart as just, I'm just walking along, I'm not doing anything wrong. Hiya, Max, how's it going?
Bart initiated that.
And then to get everyone depressed, here's some child abuse.
Those are some big feet.
Yeah, and I also like the big feet. I like how, Impulse is fast. Of course we'll have big feet. Let's give everyone big feet. Big feet all around. We love us some big feet. Now it's Frank Quietly time.
My turn.
He's gonna eat your head.
Man, that guy's a soccer thug.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really is.
I like Frank Quietly because you'll see Frank Quietly actually looks like the people he draws.
He's killed a man before, I'm pretty sure.
And eaten them probably as well. Frank Quietly, actually, when
My shirt is about coffee.
I lapsed out of comics for a while. I was a big X-Men fan in the 90s, stuff like that. And I lapsed out of it for a while. And on my 21st birthday, my friends would drive me around after I was sloppy drunk. We stopped off to buy cigarettes at a 7-Eleven, and I wandered into the 7-Eleven, and I saw an issue of X-Men. I was like, hey, X-Men!
I know those guys.
I haven't read comics in a while. Woo, that looks crazy. So let's take a look at some X-Men, shall we? And I discovered Frank Quietly. This is the book that I bought. New X-Men 114, the first issue of E for Extinction, beginning Grant Morrison's run on New X-Men. Oh man, it's so good. One of the things I like, there's a couple of things you should say about Frank Wiley. First of all, Frank Wiley is known for drawing people, criticized for drawing people, quote, bulgy and, quote, ugly. Which is...
And quote, coming away from the sun.
He's so bulgy.
Which is a fair criticism, and I like that because...
Man, the sun is hot. Let's walk away from it.
Wait, my X-Men, come to me. I need SPF 40.
Help me, X-Men. I'm falling behind in the heliosphere.
The thing that struck me about Frank Wiley is that the art style he does is really, really different than what a lot of people do. For the same reason, because I like Humberto Ramos too, because it's really cartoony, but at the same time, it's dead serious. And his figures seem to have a lot of weight to them, but at the same time, he does really sparse line work. As you can see here, there's not a lot of details. Nobody necessarily bothered to fill in like all the wrinkles of Emma's boots or Cyclops' jacket. It's really just all you need to get the impression of what things are going on. The way things are going on now is the X-Men are badass. And he wants you to know that.
If you actually look at Cyclops, he looks exactly like a Cyclops.
Yeah.
One of the good things about Quietly's style is, as you pointed, he makes the X-Men is about differences, about alien things, and he makes the X-Men and the characters in there look kind of alien. They don't look like we're used to seeing them. So that's actually, I think it fits it well.
This is one of the things Frank Wiley did when he came on the X-Men is that he redesigned Beast to look not so ape-like and a little bit more like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, which I actually like. I like Cat Beast a lot. This is Cat Beast after the destruction of Genosha, surveying the damage, using his dark humor to sort of defray the grave desperation of the situation.
Some kind of chicken person.
This is Cat Beast hunting people. It's the third panel down that really gets, third and fourth panels down, where he really is just going into cat mode. He does that a lot. Frank Wiley, I think, draws that really well. He's definitely got all the line work down. I've seen cats chase things across the room. They look exactly like that.
This is bees being stopped.
Hand through face.
This is more New X-Men. This is a little earlier into the series. But again, this is one of those things that it's real hard to find comic book people who can actually draw this. But if you can draw a little bald chick running her arm through somebody and then up through his face while she's reading off the 6 billion letters in his genetic code, you got something there. You want to keep that guy on the book. That's one of the things that really, really drew me into it. Again, it's stuff that you don't get to see in comics a lot, and I dug the hell out of it. This is more X-Men fighting. This is the X-Men fighting their big villain, Cassandra Nova. The thing I like here is the Black Bug Room. Cassandra Nova does this little psychic trick where she locks Cyclops into a room of his darkest nightmares and calls it the Black Bug Room. And the bugs there go, hello, Scott. This is your Black Bug Room. Everybody has one. This is yours. And the bugs are freaking terrifying. Scott Summers, as calm and cool and collected as he is, he can't stand up for that. There's no standing up for that.
What about Ugly Pete? Do you have him?
No, I didn't throw any into the Pete. This is more of that fight. Again, this is Cassandra Nova burning off Wolverine's arm. And this is one of those things that, actually, there's a couple of things here that work out really well because, one, Frank quietly does organic drawing, I think, really well. He actually draws people like they're people and not Mike Turner, Barbie, and Ken dolls. But the thing that really sells me here is Jean Grey's expression in the bottom panel. I don't know if you can see it. She's been overwhelmed psychically. She's bleeding from the nose and her eyes are turned back. Frank Wiley always does that really well. He really, really does, like, people not being able to handle their situation, a lot of sort of destruction.
A lifetime of beating up people allows you to know what it looks like when somebody's suffering.
It's more of that. This gets into some
For all you artists out there, learn to beat people up and you can draw suffering. It's good.
This gets into some panel work of Quietly's that I like a lot. Quietly is really, really creative when it comes to doing paneling, because one of the points of paneling in comic books is to separate time within motion to let you know the time in which things happen. And if you'll notice, Emma Frost, the White Queen, has just come in and broken Cassandra Nova's neck in those three main panels there. And so in the panels, what you see is her like slowly sliding out of the superhero helmet and falling into a comatose stupor because her neck's been broken. It's one of those things that I just really like. I like the way that panel flows. It's really, really creative. You don't see a lot of people doing that. Okay. And this doesn't show up nearly as well as I thought it would be, but Marvel did this event in the middle of this run called Enough Said, where for 1 month every book was completely without dialogue. So the whole book is silent, and so they have to tell the story with pictures. And a lot of people screwed it up real bad, because it turns out that a lot of comic artists actually can't tell a story with just pictures. Frank quietly can. So what this is actually, Professor Xavier is comatose and dying. So it's Jean Grey delving into Professor Xavier's mind to try to dig out exactly who Cassandra Nova is. And so she goes through all the layers. You can see that it's her hand stretched around, grabbing onto Professor Xavier's head there, up at about the 11:55 range of the clock. She goes through the gray matter, and then goes into Professor X's ego layer, where you just see a bunch of Professor X's, and then it keeps going deeper and deeper, and then at the very end there even, you have Jean Grey going in through what appears to be Professor Xavier's mouth, which is interesting psychologically, because I always saw that as a metaphor for the oral stage in Freudian psychology. And all that would be really, really freaking difficult to explain in a comic book, especially in one comic book panel, but Frank Wiley does it like it's nothing.